Hello the YouTubes, Ash back once again with number 4 in my Vlog on Sun series, where I talk about myself and anything that's happened in the last 7 days that I've found particularly interesting. I'm getting stalked by a kitten already. This is going to be one of those days. So as you might be able to see, I've brought a special guest with me, and it is called Intrusive Sunshine. So there's going to be lens flares J.J. Abrams style throughout this video, I think. But we'll get through it. We'll plough on. So what's happened this week with me? I got to go to the cinema. I went to the cinema on Friday. I went to see Avengers Age of Ultron. And I want to go again. Now, I need to see that movie again. I saw it on Friday. I did my review for my Geekbox over the weekend, which isn't going to go out until the June magazine. So by then, I'm assuming that everyone's already going to have seen it. So there are some spoilers in the review. But what can you do? What can you do? I did want to wait and hang off until I'd seen the film again before I did the review. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that's going to happen. So I just had to go with it while I could still remember what happened. Brief summary though, the film's awesome. That's all you need to know. The film is awesome. We didn't expect anything else, to be fair. But there it is. Go and see it as soon as you possibly can, and then read my spoiler-filled review in my Geekbox magazine in June. You have been told. Other than that, things that have gone on this week with me are pretty limited again. The downside of being skint and unemployed is that you don't get to really do much with your days. Yeah. Suits me down to the ground. I'm not complaining. I'm quite happy sitting here trying to do my own thing. It pays its own rewards elsewhere in the fact that I am still my own boss. But I should really ask myself for a pay rise. So moving on to movie world, away from me because I'm boring and movies are awesome. About an hour after I uploaded Vlog on Sun number 3 last week, the Jurassic World trailer landed and it looks awesome. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, the first one, the sequels not so much. We actually watched the first one not that long ago in 3D, bought the 3D Blu-ray, and that's a pretty decent conversion. But I'm looking forward to this. I had some reservations in the first couple of trailers with the trained velociraptors and the genetically modified stupid Massivosaurus, and I think this trailer's gone out of its way to allay those fears a little bit. It's not as straightforward and cut and dried as you think, and they give a reason for the genetically modified dinosaur, and I'm fine with that. I can live with it. At the end of the day, we're talking about a film where people bring dinosaurs back from extinction. They can do whatever they want. They've got free reign to be as daft as they well please. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. I think sometimes people get caught up with everything should be real and realistic. I mean, if you're looking for realism in a film about people bringing back dinosaurs from extinction, then you've come to the wrong place. It's like I was trying to find fault with Avengers Age of Ultron for the review, and I was thinking, well, maybe Ultron's plan was a little bit OTT, but then I thought it's a comic book movie, and I could actually see this plan being written in a comic book. Maybe it has, I don't know, I don't actually read comic books. But who knows? If you're looking for realism and things to make sense, then don't go to comic book movies. Don't go to movies about people bringing back dinosaurs from extinction. If you're looking for realism, go and read a non-fiction book. So yeah, Jurassic World, I am looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Avengers, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to that. Some good films coming out this year, actually, thinking about it. Things that I wouldn't normally be excited about. Star Wars. Sorry. Anyway, come on to that later on in the year when it's a bit more relevant. Something happened at the weekend. Something big. David Ayer and Jared Leto at the weekend posted a picture of Jared Leto as the Joker. There it is. Divisive. I don't hate it. I did when I first saw it. I wasn't impressed at all. But the more I looked at it, the more that I compared it to like source material, the more I get where they're coming from with it. I still don't like the damaged tattoo on his forehead. That is like the most heavy-handed thing I've ever seen. And I don't like the Marilyn Manson teeth. But other than that, I like it. Jeremy Jahns did a really good video about this. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. He had issue with the ha 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 tattoo on his shoulder, but I really like that actually. But I can see where he's coming from. Totally see where he's coming from. I'll link the video in the description below. If you go and follow that and give it a watch, let me know what you think. But yes, it's growing on us. The more I think I'll probably, by the time the film comes out next year, I'll come to terms with the teeth and the damaged tattoo. It all depends as well on the performance and the writing. You know, what kind of Joker are the writers going for? What kind of Joker is Jared Leto going for? It's interesting. We'll give it that. We'll see what happens. Suicide Squad's not out until, was it next year? Is it 2017? I don't know. I think it might be 2017. So we've got Batman vs Superman next year. Nah, we got a long time to win everybody over, basically. I just hope that David Ayer finds a bit of form again, because Sabotage, oh my god, that was not good. On to TV. Haven't watched a lot this week. I did watch Game of Thrones, obviously. And again, slow build up, not a lot happening. There were a couple of moments, as there is every week, where it's like, ooh, but it's all still building to bigger things down the road. And it sounds like I'm ripping on the show and it's being slow, but it's not. To be quite honest, Game of Thrones is at its best when it's being slow. I think the only problem with doing these videos on a Monday is I've generally forgotten quite a lot of what happened on the Monday of last week. Maybe I should move vlog on Sunday or Tuesday, and then I can got Game of Thrones fresh in my mind. Nah. So yeah, Game of Thrones still awesome, still a bit slow, but it's all building towards something huge, because there's so much conflict brewing under the surface in it, and it's just like so tense, so amazing. Yeah, that's all I've watched in the last week. I started to watch season 3 of Person of Interest, which just hit Netflix last week. That's not really worth talking about. That's the kind of thing, it's good, but it's just background good. It's something you just watch and not really pay much attention to. It washes over you. I am going to start Peaky Blinders, though. I did try and watch it a few months back, and I couldn't get into it. I only watched the first episode, and I think I only watched about halfway through. It just wasn't grabbing us. But my mate has got into it, and he said after you get into about the second episode, it starts to sink its teeth into you. So I'll give it that long. I'll give it a go. And I don't know. I'm not sure it's my kind of thing, but I trust this guy. I trust Kitch. He was the one who said Bioshock was going to be awesome, and I didn't believe him, and I bought it anyway, and I owe him a debt for the rest of my life because of that, because I would have missed out on one of the best games ever made. And speaking of games, what a segue. Not a lot gone on this week. I played Battlefield Hardline again for about 2 minutes, got shot in the back 3 times in a row, turned it off in a huff, and put Grand Theft Auto back on. That's just how I roll. Again, I wasn't playing GTA Online, I was just playing through the story mode, just spending money, buying tanks and things like that, because I've finished the story and I'm quite rich, so why not? Big announcement this week from Telltale Games, the makers of The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, and what's the other one I'm playing? Oh, Game of Thrones, yeah. They've teamed up with Marvel. Some things coming from Telltale and Marvel in 2017. The only gripe with this is that they've announced it 2 years ahead of when it's going to release. So now I have to wait 2 years for what marvellous thing they're going to come out with. That's so frustrating, because they haven't released any details other than Telltale have teamed up with Marvel. Don't know who the character's going to be, we don't know what the story's going to be, and I'm guessing they're not going to tell us a great deal until at least next year. Unless they let something slide at E3 this year. I think I'm going to probably pick up State of Decay this week. It comes out on Xbox One. I had it on the Xbox 360, so I'll get a third off on the Xbox One. It was a really good zombie survival game. It's just, it had that kind of feel that it needed a co-op element to it, and they never put it in. And now they've come out and said they're not going to put it in. And I think we all got it, like me and my friends got it, thinking they were going to patch co-op in at some point. It did seem like that's what they were going to do. And now they've turned around and said that never their intention, they're never going to put it in. So now I know that, I think I'll probably spend a bit more time in that world, because I was just holding off waiting to have backup. But that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'll probably pick that up this week and give it another whirl. Might stream it on Twitch. Who knows? I come up with marvellous plans all the time and then never follow through with them. So I'm not going to say for definite I'm going to stream on Twitch, but it is a possibility. And if it does happen, I'll let you know on Twitter and Facebook and on Twitch. My link for Twitch is in the description below. Thank you to a couple of you who clicked it the other week and followed me. Much appreciated. So now then, on to your questions. Just the 2 this week. There's one from Peter Scott again. Great vlog once again, mate. Loving the weekly updates. going to sign up for next month's My Geek Box. You're a good man. Through my affiliate link as well. Yay. Question for next week. What's your all-time favourite computer game and why? I mentioned Bioshock earlier on, and that's a contender, without a doubt. Just because it was so surprising, because I didn't think I was going to like it, and I absolutely loved it. Also, I loved the twist at the end, would you kindly? Oh, it's just superb. I'm not sure, there's franchises that I come back to time and time again. Football Manager and FIFA, that you're just programmed to buy every year. But does that necessarily make them great? I don't know. Sensible World of Soccer on the Amiga, that's probably my all-time favourite game. The amount of hours I used to spend on that. The only time I left the house was when it got to the end of the season and it took 3 hours to load through. I would go out and play for a few hours while that loaded in. But what a game that was. Just so simple in terms of the football and mechanics, but the depth within the manager thing. And being able to have the sort of championship manager element and the actual playing the games yourself element for the first time was just phenomenal. And it was good because I used to get Newcastle to win things. Something I've never managed to really do without cheating on Football Manager. So, Sensible World of Soccer, probably all-time favourite game. Next question. Dino Mighty again. Hey Ash, thanks for answering the question. No problem, thanks for asking it. I remember the Commodore VIC-20 because I too had one. I even had a VIC-16. I didn't even know the VIC-16 existed. Oh my god, that must have been terrible. My question for this vlog is Superman versus Batman. Who will you be cheering for? That's a no-brainer right there. Batman through and through. I'd root for Batman against my own mother. Sorry, Mum. There's just something about Batman that I like. The fact that he doesn't have actual superpowers. He's just a rich guy with too much money and too much time on his hands. And a need to put things right in his city. I just love that. I think that's why I like Daredevil as well, because Daredevil is Marvel's Batman. He just is. Superman is just too good. He's got too many powers. He's too righteous. I know that the whole Batman vs Superman thing is that Superman is probably just going a bit too far with his bit self, and Batman tries to bring him back down to earth. But he's DC's Captain America, basically. He's just too good, just inherently good, and that's boring. So you've got to have an edge, you've got to have a dark side. Batman's all about breaking the rules. He still operates within the law and he doesn't kill people, but he will, at times, bend the rules to breaking point just because it needs to be done. I can't see Superman doing things like that, and that just... Nah. So yes, I'm backing Batman all the way, and in the film I'm still backing Batman because I do like Ben Affleck. I am that guy. I still like him, despite Daredevil, despite Genie, despite a few other things that he's done in his career. I still think he's really talented. I think he's a phenomenal director. I don't think anyone can argue with that. If you've seen Argo and The Town, he's amazing. I think in becoming such a good director, it's made him a much better actor as well, because especially in his own movies, he tends to up his game for himself. But if you've seen Gone Girl, he's phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with the cape and cowl. And I do think he's going to kick Superman's ass. And even if he doesn't, I'll be there to pick him up. Because Batman all the way. So there we have it. That's this week's vlog on Sun. As I mentioned before, links to everything I've talked about will be in the description below. Links to my social medias in there. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and all that malarkey. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please tell your friends, tell your family, don't tell me mum, and don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. And ask questions and I'll answer them next week. Take care and I'll see you next time.